For your first time in a qualifying tournament, athletes will be participating postseason in varsity-level competitions for a chance to wrestle in the California Interscholastic Federation State Championship. These tournaments are qualifiers because wrestlers need to medal within their weight class at the current tournament in order to move on to the next. For high school teams within Placer County, athletes will wrestle first for the top 8 spots in the North Sac-Joaquin Regionals competition, then the top 6 spots at the Sac-Joaquin Masters Tournament before attending the CIF State Championship. At this point, there is not a postseason league tournament for women's wrestling in the Sac-Joaquin section. For qualifying tournaments, each team is allowed 1 athlete per weight class to compete. While a team does not have to bring representation for all 14 weight classes, they are not allowed to have more than 1 wrestler in any bracket. This may require the team to have a wrestle-off, in which athletes compete in a match during practice for the varsity spot. Any member of the team can challenge the current varsity contender in their weight class before any varsity tournament, and the coach will arrange a time during practice for the 2 to face off for a best 2 out of 3 match series. 1 wrestler can challenge another as many times during the season as they like, though only 1 wrestle-off per challenger can occur before each varsity tournament. Once the varsity lineup is set, the team will attend the North Sac-Joaquin Section Regionals Tournament. This competition is a 2-day double elimination tournament, of which the top 8 wrestlers in each weight class shall continue on to the next level. When the team arrives, they will find a place in the bleachers to set their belongings and create space for their supporters. The weigh-in area is located in a separate room and will already be set up, allowing all athletes to check their weight against the official scales and make any adjustments. When the head staff announces the beginning of check-in, the entire team will make their way into the designated room with the rest of the athletes, and the doors will be shut and locked from the outside while weigh-ins and groom checks are performed. If an athlete arrives after the doors are shut, or leaves the room for any reason before checks are finished, they will be unable to re-enter and disqualified from the tournament. During weigh-ins, many official scales will be placed along the wall to allow multiple athletes to check in at once. On the first day, wrestlers will weigh in and perform groom check with their team. On the second day, athletes will check in by weight class with a 1-pound allowance. If an athlete is eliminated from the tournament on the first day, they do not check in on the second day. If, during weigh-ins, an athlete is over their registered weight class, they are able to challenge the scale. Scales can be calibrated differently, and one may run higher than another. A wrestler can ask the staff performing weigh-ins to challenge the scale, and an official will guide the athlete to the other available scales to check their weight against them. A scale that is off by a fraction of a pound can make the difference between participating in the tournament and being disqualified. Once all athletes have been officially weighed in and completed groom check, tournament staff will confirm bracket seating according to CIF rankings. Throughout the season, wrestlers competing in official tournaments will have their win-loss statistics sent to an official seating committee. This group will be in charge of ranking athletes in their weight class in accordance to performance. These rankings, in turn, will designate where in the brackets wrestlers begin. Factors for seeding include placement or qualification in the previous season's CIF State and Masters tournaments, and head-to-head competition throughout the season against other athletes in the bracket. The North Sac-Joaquin Section Regionals Tournament is held in a school gym and is run through track wrestling as a 2-day double elimination tournament. Please review for your first time in a tournament and for your first time in a match to familiarize yourself with what is expected during the competition. If wrestlers are competing, their absence on Friday is counted as excused by the school. Any other athletes that choose to come and support their team will need to confer with their parent or guardian, as their absence will be marked as unexcused. In the North SJS Regionals Tournament, athletes compete for the top 10 places, with medals given to the top 8 wrestlers in each bracket who will move on to Masters. The 9th place wrestler in each bracket will be listed as an alternate for their weight class, who will move on to Masters in the event of a top 8 athlete being unable to continue, i.e. due to injury. The North Sac-Joaquin Section Tournament also tallies team points throughout the tournament, with the highest scoring team receiving the SJS Regional Pennant. This tournament will also call forward all competing seniors for senior recognition on the first day of competition. The Sac-Joaquin Section Masters Tournament takes place the next week in the Stockton Arena of Stockton, California. While this tournament is also a 2-day double elimination tournament that is run on track wrestling, there are some changes. The tournament is run simultaneously with the boys wrestling Sac-Joaquin Section Masters Tournament, though on separate mats. Weigh-ins and groom check will take place on the arena floor by weight class, with girls and boys checking in on opposite sides. The tournament will also require all competing wrestlers and registered coaches to wear lanyards to identify themselves. These lanyards are required in order to step onto the arena floor. During matches, only 2 persons are allowed in each corner of the mat, which may mean that wrestlers will have to stand against the wall or in the stands to watch their teammates' matches. The first day of SJS Masters will run 4 rounds, 2 championship and 2 consolation. The second day of the tournament will continue through the medaling rounds with a short break before all 4 matches, 7th, 5th, 3rd, and championship, occur simultaneously for each weight class, with each match being decided before continuing on to the next bracket. Masters athletes medal at the top 8 places, with the top 6 qualifying for the CIF State Championships. The Sac-Joaquin Section Masters Tournament also tallies team points, with the highest scoring team receiving the SJS Masters Pennant and second place receiving a plaque. The CIF State Championship Tournament takes place the following week in the Mechanics Arena of Bakersfield, California. This tournament runs concurrently with the Boys Wrestling State Championship Tournament as a 3-day double elimination tournament. However, instead of track wrestling, the state tournament is run on flowarena.org. Athletes competing in the tournament will check in the day before and receive bands to get to the lower level of the venue. A limited number of registered coaches will be given wristbands depending on how many qualifiers are on the team. All other supporters will be required to purchase tickets to enter the arena and sit in the stands. On the first day of competition, the team will check in at the time in accordance to the CIF bylaws for weigh-ins and groom check. The arena will then open for the public in the next hour. On the arena floor level, there is a warm-up area for wrestlers to get ready before lining up in the chute before their match, as wrestlers and coaches that are not currently wrestling are not allowed on the mats. Wrestlers will compete in 2 championship rounds the first day. This means if an athlete loses their first match, they will be done for the day, but not for the tournament. After 2 rounds, wrestlers can choose to either return to the hotel or stay at the arena and watch the rest of the day's tournament, as the boys will wrestle 3 rounds. The second day of competition, wrestlers will weigh in with a 1-pound allowance and groom check, then compete in both championship and consolation matches throughout the day. Wrestling will continue through quarterfinals in the championship round and top 16 in the consolation round. The third day of competition, wrestlers will take part in weigh-ins and groom check again, with a 2-pound allowance at weigh-ins. Championship rounds will run through semifinals, with consolation running through the medal rounds from 3rd to 8th place. There will then be a break until the evening, when the arena will be reset for the championship matches, with 1 mat for each of the girls' and boys' finals. At this time, there will be a parade of the top 8 girls and boys in each of the weight brackets, along with the presentation of various awards for academic and athletic achievement. There will then be a face-off between the weight classes, and wrestling will begin. Championship matches may begin at any weight class, though they will go in weight order. So a final starts at 190, 235 will occur next, then 100, and so on. While boys and girls championship matches will be occurring simultaneously, matches will not wait for the equivalent weight class to finish before beginning the next. The CIF state athletes compete for the top 8 places, with the team scoring the highest number of team points receiving a trophy. The state tournament marks the end of the postseason for the high school sport, and wrestlers are allowed to participate in off-season club 2 weeks following. Thank you for watching for your first time, and we look forward to seeing you out on the mat.